That mean well?
Yeah, that this doesn't mean that you need to all yell things back at me. That just means that we have two sets of notes. They're both the same topic, kind of, and then the review notes. So that's today, Monday, and Tuesday. And then that's it for me teaching. So anyway, just to give you a little light at the end of the tunnel feeling. Um, Also, if any of you guys want the final exam review packet early to start working on it, I have those printed and I'll let you pick those up at the end of the period, but it's not required right now. It's optional. Just some of my students, they tell me that when they get bored, they sit and do math. So I just thought maybe they would want to. Okay. All right. So step one is to notice this is subtraction. Subtraction is division. Remember, this is a spicy one. I understand that it's a spicy one, so oh, it's really wordy. Any questions about that so far? Does that make sense? Okay, now you should notice it's a guidance circle. So you have, I'm gonna switch it to log E. Okay, that really shouldn't be, that fascinating yet. And then I do my guidance circle. I have E to the 1 equals x minus 2 over x plus 1. And I like to put this side over 1 and cross multiply. So I have e to the 1 x plus 1 equals x minus 2. Okay, now that none of that is the spicy part yet. Any questions about this so far before I get to the spicy part? You guys all good? Okay, now I'm going to distribute. Normally I don't distribute my e, I would usually divide, but there's x's on both sides, so I have to distribute. Okay, now what should I do in the calculator over here to get the coefficient of x? Somebody knows. What is this math right here? Let's just pretend it was 5 and 4. What would I do? 5 minus 4, right? So e to the 1 minus 1 because it's minus 1x. So 1.7183. And then I just changed e to the 1 to a decimal because I feel like that's easiest. If you want to, you could put a 1 here. Negative 2.745. No. I don't think that's ever going to get any worse than that. That was pretty terrible. All you have to do is just remember that E is a number, and if you start to get uncomfortable with it, just change it to a decimal. It's okay. Okay. Now number 8. Nope, everybody got this one on the quiz. We're getting there. So this is row 4, which is 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. If you need to make a baby Pascal's triangle to get that, by all means. What's wrong, honey? Oh, crap, crappity, craparama, crapalapa ding dong. I forgot. You're so right. If you plug them back in, there's an error. It's no solution. I completely forgot. And I even knew that. And I actually talked to Miss Rice about that yesterday. Because you plug it back in, no solution. I forgot this. Yeah. In my defense, I've had a headache for 2 days that makes me want to stab myself in the eye with a pencil. But no, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know what my problem is. I keep trying to drink water. It's not helping. Okay. Thank you, my dear, for that. Appreciate you. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Do you think that might help you? Okay. Now let me just check with Jacob. Do I have the 4th row of Pascal's triangle correct? I feel as though I might need to check everything now. Okay, just second guessing myself over here. So I have 1 times 2v to the 4th negative 1 to the 0 plus 4 2v cubed negative 1 to the 1 plus 6 2v squared negative 1 squared. Man, started this down further so I wouldn't do it on 2 lines, but that was futile. Plus 4 2v to the 1 negative 1 cubed plus 1 2v to the 0 negative 1 to the 4th. Thank goodness for different color pens. Okay, cancel. 16v to the 4th plus 4 times 8v cubed times negative 1 plus 6 times 4v squared times 1 plus 4 times 2v times negative 1 plus 1. V to the 4th. Michaela, your water bottle looks like a pencil and I love it. Anyway, any questions about number 8? Hello? Hi. Number 8's okay? Okay, you got the flip-flopping signs and whatnot? Just checking. Okay, we're done with the packet, so just scooch that away, grab your notebook. That need to write down the notes faster.
1.5 career method. 1.5 career method.
falling behind again.
Okay.
Well, you did number 75 in that one, not 78.
Yo, I swear I always follow the rules. I can never fail it. Oh, what is it?
So Geo picks up on a very good point with these problems. These are problems where neatness matters and finding an error is challenging because you miss a little negative here or there, which I feel like is probably what happened to you. You miss a little tiny multiplication, you do something little tiny wrong and it throws the whole problem. So this is the last topic. The last topic we have is solving systems in three variables. There's 2 lessons on it because today's just the regular, but then Monday there's actually an application of this that we're going to learn. And then we're done. Believe it or not. But I hope you enjoy the Desmos part of this lesson at least. I think it's really cool. You know, the mechanics part is tedious, I will say. Okay. First thing I want to do is tell you guys that this is a line in standard form. This is also a line in standard form. When you have 2 lines set up in standard form and you're going to solve the system, you use what's called the elimination method. This is all things that you've had said to you lots of times in the past, but it's always good to talk about them again, just for vocab's sake. And what we're doing in a problem like this is finding the point of intersection between those 2 lines. Now, this problem is extremely obvious. They're not all obvious, but this one is. Can you guys tell that the 2 y's will eliminate if I add the equations together? Okay, so you're supposed to notice that those 2 have opposite coefficients. So if I add with the elimination method, this will be 42x equals 84. Divide by 42. X equals 2. Okay, and then in my Math 1 class, I have to remind kids a lot of times that that's not the end. They have to plug it back in to get the y coordinate. And you can pick either one to plug it into. It doesn't matter. You should get the same answer either way. And if you were a diligent math student, you plug it into both. Make sure that you got the same answer, but I'm too lazy for that. Okay. And in my Math 1 class, I require them to state the coordinate. And then just for a reminder, that is what we're doing. What we found was the point of intersection between those 2 without graphing. In Math 1, you start by graphing the 2 lines and finding the point of intersection. That's how that chapter starts. Actually, the chapter starts with taking standard form to slope intersect so that they can however, they should be doing it off the best line. They don't want that. Okay, do you have any questions about what I just did? I know that's a older view. I want to remind you graphically what we said. So here is a graphic representation of the problem that I just did. I have the first equation in red, the second equation in blue, the graph 15 lines, point of intersection is at 2, 4. Everybody completely understands what the heck I was doing.
I agree.
Okay, now we're gonna get to something cool. So that's all well and good. That's your math 1 background knowledge. And this is where we're going. Okay, did you guys write down the problem for number 78? Okay. Okay. So number 78 is this. Take a second to write this down real quick, if you haven't already. Also note the sheer amount of space that I left here. Or Z. If you're extremely in tune with the class right now, you would have said to yourself, the 3 Y's would be the easiest thing to eliminate in this problem. So if your brain went there, that's where it should be going, trying to figure out which one of them is the easiest to eliminate. In this case, clearly the Y is the easiest. Those are Z's. Okay, now I'm gonna put that Desmos back up. And I want you guys to, this is a visual exercise, not the math problem 78 is not going to be a visual exercise, that's going to be elimination method, but this number 76 is a visual exercise, and what I want you to do is try to find the point of intersection. Okay, so when something is something X plus something Y plus something Z equals a number, that is called a plane. The plane is a surface that goes on forever in all directions. It doesn't have any thickness. You can think of it like the thinnest piece of paper that you could possibly think of going on forever and ever and ever. And planes intersect each other. Can you guys see the spot where they intersect? The green, red, and the blue. They all have to intersect at the same point for there to be a solution.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Okay, now if you study this diagram long enough, and mostly it's just fun to like wing the arrow around and like rotate it. You can figure out the point of intersection just like we did on Desmos. This is not as cool. You can't click right there and it won't give you the point. I tried it this morning, doesn't do it. Really sad. I know. It's very unsatisfying that way. However, it will spin if you throw it. Yeah, like with your mouse, you know, like if you like drag it real fast,
Always.
she spins. Most of the time, you will see the setup of the XYZ axis like this. You'll see X coming this way, Y coming this way, and then Z going straight up. When we do 3D graphing, which we aren't doing this year, but we do it in pre-calc, usually you like stick a pencil on your XY plane, and then that represents your Z coming up out of the paper. Anyway, this might be harder for you than just the algebra. So let's go to the algebra, and then we'll come back to this picture and see if we can figure out that matched. Okay, so we all agreed, I hope, that the Y is the thing to eliminate. And the reason is because they are all 3s. And what I like to do is number the equations 1 through 3. And then I like to decide who should go with who. And if you think about the elimination method we did up here, it's easiest if there's one negative and one positive, so you can add. So I suggest that 1 and 2 will be paired together. And then I suggest that 1 and 3 be paired together. That would give us a positive 3y and a negative 3y in both problems. My pen is dying. I'm very sad. Okay. Now, a reminder, our goal is to eliminate the y from the problem. So I want to make sure I eliminate the y in both of my sub problems here. Okay, and what that does is it gets you to a math 1 problem. What letter is easiest to eliminate now? X or Z? X. And what would I have to do to eliminate X? Multiply the bottom by -4. Beautiful. One of the most common mistakes in a problem like this is not distributing all the way across the constant on the other side. You have to do that. I'm encouraged by a whole number. Okay, now I'm gonna take my Z and plug it into this guy. You can plug it into either one of these two. I'm gonna plug it into this one just because it's on the right side. Okay, and then my last step is to take my two numbers and plug it into one of the original ones. Which one do you want to pick? Which one looks easiest? Number one? It doesn't matter. If you're really diligent, you could plug it into all three and make sure that you got the same answer, but how about not? Let's go with number one. Now, because this is notes, I'm gonna write number one down here again so you could see what you did. Okay, and then just like math one, the final answer should be a coordinate. It's a 3D coordinate, so you want to go X, Y, Z. If the letters in the problem are not X, Y, and Z, you should go in alphabetical order. Okay, now after you write this coordinate down, I want to go back to Desmos real quick and see if it looks like we can determine that that's at -1, -3, 2. Okay, so here's the x-axis. Here's the point of intersection. You can't see it very well, but hold on, maybe you can see it better this way. Can you tell that the point of intersection is at -1 on the x? Okay, reminder, x is labeled over here, so it's going all the way through this way. So -1, -3 on the y, and then +2, so it comes up 2. Really hard, right? If you had the screen in front of you on your own laptop, you might be able to see it better. Okay. Or am I going to ask you to ever find the point of intersection from no. I'm going to ask you to do it with algebra. Go. Now, 179 has a bunch of problems. We're only going to do C and B. We're going to do C first and then B, which is weird, but I have a method, I promise. Yeah. Okay. First question. Which letter is best to eliminate, X, Y, or Z? It's Z. Okay, here's the reason that you can do any of them. Let me just be honest. You could do X's if you really want to. You could do the Y's if you really want to. Y's not a bad choice, really, but I'm gonna choose Z. The reason is because one of them is plain. Because one of them is plain, that means I can pair that guy with the other two and just do one multiplication each. Because I'm lazy. Okay. Do you guys understand what I mean by plain? Okay, so that means I'm going to pair the plain one with the other two. So I'm going to say, I'm going to pair 1 and 2 together. And then I'm going to pair 2 and 3 together. So each one of my subproblems gets the plane Z. Okay, now in my subproblems, what should I do to eliminate Z in this problem? Multiply by 6 on the bottom. And what should I do to eliminate Z in this problem? Multiply by 5 on the top. Great job. If anybody could just verify my work as you work on yours because I'm special. Okay, now X's or Y's? X. And for me, I'm gonna multiply the bottom by -1. You can just subtract if you like. I don't like to do that because people make mistakes when they subtract, but I like to multiply by -1. It's your choice though. Okay, now note. You should probably go back in your work and check if you get something really weird. 1/2 is not weird. But if you get like 0.3659742, that means that you probably did something wrong up in here because we're not going to do that to you. Okay. Okay. And then you're like, oh, still got a whole number. I want to impress on you, they're not always whole numbers. It's just that they're not usually horrible. Which equation do you want to plug into? Number two? I think number two. Anybody feel like number two? It's just got the smallest numbers in it. Okay, so on these problems, I want to impress upon you the need to go slowly and write neatly. Because you see the potential for tiny mistakes, a negative, a forgetting to multiply something, anything. Okay, now this one, when you write this last one down, should be telling you that something's amiss.
Yeah.
Something's amiss on this one. Your hackles, your math receptors should be going, this is a weird.
Okay. You want to do it.
Yeah, okay, so Leo's got an extremely great retention rate. You just remembered that regular systems that we did in math one have weird answers sometimes. There's three possibilities. A point of intersection, which is the normal type of problem, parallel lines, which are no solution, and then the same line, which is infinite solutions. Okay, and these all have three possible answers. A point of intersection that is three coordinates, no solution, and infinite solution. And we just sort of need to figure out which is which. Now I can already tell you this is no solution because 60 does not equal 120. As far as I know, in my math career, I haven't really found a time when 60 is equal to 120. Now, if you think that 60 is equal to 120, I have $60 I could give you right now in exchange for your 120. That'd be cool. And then I'm gonna go out to eat. But, yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. It would make my day. No, it wouldn't. I'd feel terrible. I wouldn't be able to do it. Anyway, okay, but let's just pretend that you're in quiz or test mode. In quiz or test mode, we tend to not analyze the problem. We tend to go through the motions. What I want you to notice is that on the bottom one, someone's done some work for you. They already eliminated the y. So what I want you to do is think, okay, the y is already gone in this one, so we should eliminate the y in those. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The y is already missing here. Somebody already did the work. So let's eliminate the y in these. Now, I think it would be easiest to multiply the second equation by -1. I'm going to write them over here. This problem should take us like 2 minutes. Actually, we already solved it because we said it was no solution, but yes. This is all the work that you would need to show for that. You're done after that. However, because I'm a nerd pants, I already put this one on Desmos just so you can see how it looks when it's no solution. Yes, nerd pants that I am. Okay, so here here is this situation. Can you tell that the gray plane and the purple plane are parallel? So instead of having parallel lines, you have parallel planes. So think about them like two pieces of paper that will never cross each other. That's where you get the no solution from. And the red one crosses them. But when you're asking this question about a system, you're saying, where do all three cross each other? It has to be all three, not just separate instances of two. In calculus, you'll find the line of intersection here and the line of intersection there. Are we doing that in math 3? No, no. No solution is plenty for me. Okay, so I have a joke for you. It's just okay. Homework is 83 through 86, 83, 84, 85, 86, and pi is on the phone, and it says to continue in degrees, press 1. To continue in radians, press 2. To continue in gradients, which you guys will not learn till college, obviously.
I need to think about it.
That's his 3 languages.
I didn't just look it up.
Did you see that Will Smith video about I? There's a Will Smith video talking about square root of -1. No, seriously, I mean, he's like all like, why would you have it be imaginary? Like, what does that help with? And then there's like a mathematician lady like talking to him.
I never knew that video ever surfaced in that actually.
Mr. Regalado says it's